Being the daughter of parents who were both ministers, I have been attending church literally since I was days old. Most of my experiences of communion have been inside a church building. So having communion in my own home and shared over Zoom these last 6 months has been unusual, to say the least. I lament not being able to meet, to worship, and celebrate sacraments like communion in our church building. Though each time we've celebrated communion since the start of the pandemic, and especially as we prepared to celebrate Worldwide Communion Sunday this Sunday, it has caused me to reflect on other experiences that I've had of celebrating communion. In 2012, and again in 2015, I had the opportunity to travel to El Salvador on delegations led by Pat and Greg McPhee to visit First United's sister community, El Triunfo. This small community, or canton, of 1,200 households is located in La Libertad, about an hour's drive from the capital city, San Salvador. Although a river runs nearby, most houses do not have running water or indoor plumbing. A pila, like a giant outdoor wash basin, is used for washing and cooking. The chapel provides a place for the community to gather for community events, meetings, youth activities, and worship. Delegations have been welcomed with a celebration feast. Here, women are preparing pupusas. In 2012, our delegation, who spent 2 days in the community and were hosted overnight in people's homes, wanted to provide a meal. We decided to provide a somewhat traditional picnic in North American culture, grilled cheese sandwiches and potato salad and pickles. Breaking bread together, whether it was in the context of worship or over a meal, brings people together. Jesus knew this. That is why there are so many stories in our scriptures that describe him sharing meals with his closest followers, with strangers, with a crowd on a hillside, or as a guest in the homes of friends like Mary and Martha, and finally, as host. Washing the feet of his disciples and sharing a meal of wine and bread on the night of his arrest. On this Worldwide Communion Sunday, I think of our sister community in El Triunfo, who face so many more challenges than we do because of COVID-19. Despite their government's 3-month total lockdown at the beginning of the pandemic, the healthcare system has collapsed, and people no longer go to the hospitals or for testing, but rather stay at home and try to recover there. And so their numbers of infected are likely much higher than the 29,000 reported. Tropical storms Amanda and Cristobal at the end of May caused deadly flooding and landslides, and the United Nations estimates that 336,000 people living in both rural and urban areas are facing severe food insecurity as a result of crops being destroyed. And students at every level will be finishing their school year, which runs from February through December, in a virtual way, despite the fact only 1 in 10 Salvadoran households has an internet-connected computer. School-aged children and youth in rural communities like El Triunfo are at an even greater disadvantage due to the lack of resources for computers, printers, and cell phone or internet coverage. Despite grinding economic poverty, the generosity of El Salvador's people has always left me humbled. We are fortunate, privileged, and truly blessed in our kinship with our brothers and sisters in El Salvador, who teach us that poverty in material things does not mean poverty in spirit, and how to find hope in even the most challenging circumstances.